We also entered into the sponsorship world, recycling. I hope you know that Contador is now hopefully back on the team for the tour, which hopefully will be lots of fun. And I know that two of you most likely are going to Paris in the summer. So I hope you'll enjoy that. We'll do the best from our side to make it a success. We have added a lot to the business lately in terms of wealth management, in terms of, and I'll come to that in a second, as well as opening more offices. We bought a bank in Switzerland, we opened up in Japan, we bought a white labeling client of ours in France. And as you can see, we opened up, we're up to 18 offices now, so I don't want to mention them all, you can read about it there. But also we could see that we needed to, as I told you, IT for us is a key competitive parameter. And it's actually difficult to find the quality of people in Denmark that have market knowledge and that can work well. So we bought into a company called Inito, an IT development company with around 200 people in India and around 50 people in Ukraine. Initially we bought 40% of it with an option to buy the remaining 60%. We took the rest over last year. So we now have a big outsourcing center. We still have around almost 400 people working in Denmark, but we are scaling up massively on IT because we believe that is absolutely essential for us to compete in the future. We also bought E-Trade's Nordic business. E-Trade had big problems in the financial crisis, and they had started up an international project about basically building international offices. They only went for market share, not really profitability or anything like that. And in the end, they've spent a lot of money on marketing. They didn't have a very profitable business, and they had to sell it all out again. We managed to snap up the Nordic business, and we are still working to integrate it. And that also goes hand in hand with us wanting to have a stronger foothold within equities, where foreign exchange and CFDs and futures and so forth has been a key thing for us in the past. Very importantly, and something you'd hear more about also, we decided that we want to build up an asset management department. I'll come back to this, but the whole idea was to say, in the beginning, we focused on very active traders or speculators or whatever you want to call them, that traded derivative products, primarily foreign exchange, but also CFDs and futures and so forth. So that's a very, very narrow client base. And we believe that if we could broaden our product to really cater for everything that our clients would want, both when it comes to pensions, investment, saving products and so forth, as well as to pay the bills and get a credit card, we thought, well, then we could have a broader client base, and we could also have a broader income stream in other areas. Asset management is a pretty essential component in that, because there are a lot of people that are self-directed, and that's what we've been focused on in the past. But we also want to cater for people that says, you know, here's some money, and I would like for you to help me take care of that. We knew we couldn't really start that up organically because it's taking too long and it's difficult to find the right team. So we were out there scouting for teams that already did well. Sandro and his team did extremely well, and I'm happy to say that you've continued the trend massively since you entered under the Saxo Bank umbrella. CBS Kapitalforvaltning is another company that did very well. They are on Danish real estate bonds. Sandro will tell more about his business. And we have also bought 51% of Global Evolution that focuses on emerging market debt and so forth. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I talked to you about the MSN Trader. We've opened up a lot of offices, and I can see I'm running out of time, so I'll better move on. The full year results for 2010 will be published in a few days. You see the half year results there, and whilst we haven't performed as well in the second half, you can see that the pre-tax profit already after the first half was better than any full year result we've done. And I can also tell you that the growth on the top line is a new high. So I mean, we're pretty happy about the development of the business. We have our key indicator to judge whether we are doing well or not so well is whether we get more clients and clients' assets. And we've got, since the beginning of 2009, we have much more than doubled the client base, and at the same time you can see we are less people doing the business now, but much more efficient. So we're pretty satisfied, but again, life is challenging, and you always run into trouble at some point, so we're pretty humble about it, but obviously happy that it develops well. We think that the way we try to build the bank is different from what we see in the world. Our reliance on technology is heavy. I don't want to go too much into that because time is running out, but we have 3 platforms: Saxo Trader, which is a thick client you can download on your computer; the Saxo Web Trader you can access anywhere, also behind firewalls; and then a mobile trader. And that's really how we communicate with our clients. We also have APIs, which means people can interface up and get our liquidity and prices and so forth. Foreign exchange has been our core product, and it will obviously continue to be a core product. We try to develop other income streams as well. We have a unique foreign exchange products, and we want to focus on that going forward as well, because it's a very good business. Also in foreign exchange options, we have developed some quite unique services. We have an options board where we provide streaming liquidity, where people can trade prices directly. I don't know how much you're into this. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but it is a pretty unique product. Futures are probably one of the most efficient markets in the world when it comes to cost, liquidity, and so forth. It's also a big part of our business, and we continue to grow that. Investment funds, I discussed the exchange-traded funds. We give access to more than 1,000 investment funds, so you can get participation in pretty much any market segment in the world you want, in what is pretty much the most efficient way to get participation. And also the classic bank services that I mentioned are beginning to be part of our product palette as well. Our idea is really that as an investor, you would want to have access to any global market of interest. Everyone can see that oil prices are pretty important to the economy now. Precious metal prices, food prices, interest rates, foreign exchange, equities, and so forth. That means that no matter what macro cycle the economy is in, we would have a product of interest where you can take advantage of your belief in the market, whether that is to sell it or to buy it, or sell options on it because you think it won't move or whatever. The way we look at it now is that the traditional business was online trading, as I discussed. We have added equity offering, both in terms of buying E-Trade, the cooperation with MSN and Euroinvestor. Last year we launched an equity trading product that is pretty unique, has a lot of in-depth information where you can analyze and trade the market, trade out the beta, trade out the commodity prices or the currency price, all sorts of stuff. That's a pretty neat product, and we want to strengthen the base within equities. We have a corporate solutions project because we haven't approached corporations as such in the past. We're going to do that in the not too distant future because many of the smaller to mid-sized companies right now don't get a super service when they trade foreign exchange in their banks or when they have payments and so forth. And we believe that we can do something unique there. Also in online wealth management, doing capital allocation models, getting participation in a global fund supermarket is still very difficult, and it's not very flexible. Typically, if you go to your bank, you'll get their own products, but you won't get the best funds in the world. We have a product that we've been developing with Banco Best, which is a daughter bank of Banco Espírito Santo, who owns 10% of Saxo Bank. And we're launching something later in the year on that note, which we think will be quite compelling for anyone with a long-term investment horizon. We also bought this big international bank, Brørup Sparekasse, in Jutland. And that's simply to give access to an IT infrastructure that will allow us to do traditional banking services. Then there's the asset management business, and I'm sure you'll talk a lot about that, Sandro, so I don't want to go too much into that. So that's really what I had to say. So I hope it gives you a little bit of an idea about what we do in Saxo Bank. Okay.